Please, good to be back again. Always nice to be here. And I hope you guys having a good day. Um, anyway, the new year is a new beginning. I know the year has kicked off, so it waits for no one. So we have to make it work, okay? Anyway, many things have been happening. So many things have been happening. We just say, guys, um, the word is yours, okay? Be strong, be steadfast. I will say this once encourage me before I go into what I want to do today. Be strong, be steadfast, don't give in, don't give up. Life is a bad, continuously, despite the situation, continuously moving forward. That's how it is. When you take a step back, you lose. We don't take a step back. We try to move ahead. Okay, that is the secret of that's one of the secrets. Okay, don't let the past hold you back. Okay, uh, learn from experiences and make the future better. Okay, I'm just this is a kind of words of encouragement. I like to encourage people before I start the thing of the day. As I've said, the life is beautiful. Okay, you can make the life what it. Okay, don't let anybody talk you down. Don't let anybody give you a name. Don't let anybody tell you who you are not. In fact, they can say their own, but don't answer to it. Don't answer to what you are not. You know what I'm saying? But it's only when you answer to what you are not, that is when you become what they call you. What they call you, okay? So don't answer to what you are not. All right? I know my name. I know who I am. Call me by name, I answer. If you call me that name, I won't answer. Okay? So in life too, don't let me tell you you cannot make it, or you are dated, or you are nothing. You cannot fit into the society. Don't answer to such things, okay? Don't answer to don't answer to such things, okay? Don't answer to such things. All right. So please, guys, be yourself. You can make this happen. Despite what is happening around the world, there are crises everywhere, not only in Nigeria. There are crises everywhere. So don't let it don't let it weigh you down. Okay. Yeah, let it weigh you down. Just keep on hoping, keep on believing in yourself. We go with you. We can make it. Everything will be okay. All right. This is my just words of advice this evening, man. This is my just words of advice. Anyway, uh, man. So where do I even start from? Because uh, so many things, so many things, so many things, guys, so many things. Please, as you watch, kindly share, make comments. It's important to make comment. Important to like. It's a kind of interaction, interactive. Let's make it kind of interactive forum. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. If you have a question, can just write it down there. If you want to make a comment, you can write down there. And I believe uh, we can make things work better for our country. I believe in making the country great again. That is why I like Peter Obi for one thing. That dream of a better Nigeria, a one Nigeria, that is his dream. Okay, that should be our dream. That should be our dream. A better Nigeria, a better tomorrow for everyone, irrespective of who you are, your tribe, your religion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's to make Nigeria great again. Okay, that is what we are pushing, and we will push it, and we'll get it done. I will get it done. All right. Uh, it's painful to hear what is happening. Seriously, I heard Yobe State today. Um, um, Boko Haram kids on people. It's sad. It's sad. It's so sad, man. It's sad. It's painful. And the killings in Plateau State. Why the killings? Who's behind it? I believe the security officials, they know what is behind it. Is it ethnic cleansing? Is it people have different views. Some people say multinationals are involved. They are mining they are using they are mining companies. That place is blessed with natural resources. So what is really happening? I believe the security people, these people, even the indigenous in that area, they know. They know. They should come out and speak out. So that we don't be blaming people. So we don't be saying it's religion. So we don't be saying it's ethnicity. If people are after their mineral, let's come out and say, okay, these people, they're after our mineral resources. They're after our thing. They're after this. What they are, that is why they are sponsoring people to wipe up all those villages. Then if it is like that, we will know how to deal with it. But I believe the security people, they know how far with it, man. They know, they should know what the main cause, the main reason. Is it ethnic cleansing? Is it a tribal crisis? Is it the multinational really involved in trying to wipe out those villages so that they can do their mining? What? Something must be wrong somewhere. Something must be a reason. That must be a reason somewhere. People are the one behind the sponsoring it. And I believe I heard I heard so many things. So I had to bring out some old videos um to watch it to know what is really happening. Okay, now let me just play a short video. I think just this is Nasarawa. Okay, these are things that are happening. The Plateau State, Nasarawa, this area. These people are. I will hear that time in Zamfara State. They were doing all sorts of things. All those Boko Haram stuff they were doing. They are using it as a camouflage. Meanwhile, people are taking our natural resources away from the country. This is not right. Nigeria security, Nigeria people, we are the ones losing. We will lose lives, we will lose money also. It's not fair because these things are expensive in the market. These things, national resources, they are expensive. These ones, if we are able to harness the security system, we can make money from it. We will have jobs. The country will have money. Africa is blessed. Naturally, Africa is blessed. Go to Congo, go to different places. They are blessed. Nigeria is blessed. Look, it's the problem of leadership, man. That's what we could be from that day. It's problem of leadership. They know all this stuff. Leadership is the core problem in Africa. Leadership is the core problem in Africa. We all know this stuff. Eh? But they should wake up. This question don't put gun in your head and say you must do what you must do against your people. They don't do it. So why should you stand up, be a man, leaders, African leaders, Nigerian, be a man and do what the needful. And man, across, really, man. It's not only just the leadership, even the village people, everybody corrupt, the security is corrupt. That is why I said, if you have the top person, that is the top person, when he's capable, when he's not corrupt, everything will go on well. But when the head is corrupt, it will be a problem. It will definitely be a problem. When the head is good, I think we have solved the problem at least 60%. Okay, but the head is not good. How can you expect the body to be good? How can you I mean control the people under you, the security system, both people that are corrupt? How can you tell them don't do it again? Because you self is corrupt. Oh man, I do I watch Nigeria, Africa stuff, Nigeria, listen to Nigerian news, all the stress, everything they are doing. I heard the humanitarian stuff. The person was in charge, the minister that was in charge. EFC called for her. She said she would come. Right ahead, she just absconded from her home some hours ago. If it's true, I don't know, but I heard such stuff, man. Because I saw one thing at one time when they said he spent some billions of dollars to train about 177 people on phone, how to repair smartphone. Man, Nigeria is a comedy. Anyway, now before I play, I talk of Nigeria security, Nigeria people. So now, before I go to Plateau stuff, there was one video I saw. I will play it. Okay, guys, let's just listen to it. As the video I saw, let's play it. Then we will come back. We will just analyze it. Then Man, we need to make Nigeria. We need to make Nigeria work. It's you and I that will do it. Don't expect other people to do it. Please, as you watch, kindly share, make comments. It's good, guys. It's good to make comments. Let's watch this stuff, okay? Let's watch this stuff. Let's just watch this stuff right now.
Leaving the site fully loaded with substances suspected to be lithium, they are being transported to places where other aspects of production are carried out before it is ready for export. The fact that the movement is taking place at night raises questions about the legality of their operations. The community is accusing the company of illegally operating on the land without approval. Sani Adagbaoku is an indigene of the community. He says he is the owner of the property on which the mining activities are being carried out. He is also brandishing this document originating from a high court in Nasarawa State, indicating an interim injunction restraining the Chinese company from trespassing or carrying out any activity whatsoever on the disputed land. However, this has not stopped the Chinese company from going ahead with its mining on the over 50 hectares of land. The community also accuses the security operatives of providing cover for the illegal operation. The arrival of a TV crew at the location is met with stiff resistance by the security team of the mining company. They overpower the policemen providing cover for journalists who have come to investigate the claim and counterclaims being made over the land. There were also attempts to harass journalists and stop them from filming, thus necessitating the discreet recording. Sani Adagba explains that the company claims to have bought the land from some unverified persons posing as family members.
So from the beginning, the information we got is that it's another person from this our community that went to sold the land to them, which the land does not belong to that family. So later on, after the investigation, they discover that the land belonged to us. So from then, they started approach us to sit with them and write agreement with them, but which we say no. Because when they came, they say if you like, whether we like or not, they will walk. And since they came in then, they were walking there. So, and we even take the issue to the court stopped them from walking, but then they refused to stop. And we don't want any violence. Since we take the matter to court, we have also our lawyers do everything.
Reflecting on the activities of regulatory agencies who should exercise control over the company's operations, the community say they suspect foul play. They also accuse the traditional rulers of colluding with the miners.
So what we technically wanted them to do is to vacate that place. These are foreigners who come to our land without consent, without a proper license. They are being guided by soldiers, guided by DSS. With all the insecurity happening in this country, they're absolutely doing an illegal job there, as far as I'm concerned. Because if it is legal, that would be a situation where you have a legal license, you have a legal consent from the community. You don't have legal license, you don't have legal consent. Even if you purported to have a consent, that consent was defective. The rules for getting any consent, any license, you must have the consent of the community. You have interviewed the community. Do they have the consent? They resorted to even adopting this Baba, taking him and force him and backdate, a lease agreement, and force him to sign.
So they were discussing, and the Osajiri asked him to sign another paper. And Baba cannot read. He don't know what that paper means. So Baba said, no, he cannot sign. What this paper for? So according to Osajiri, I explained to him, but he said no. The Osajiri insisted that he is the king, and whatever he said, that's what works. So how can he say he cannot sign? So he want to disobey the king in the palace. He now say, okay, if he will sign, let them call his lawyer. But his lawyer was not close, and his lawyer said he should not sign. But because of the pressure, they were pressuring him to sign. And he don't know it was consent letter that they are forcing him to sign. He says it's nothing.
With activities still ongoing despite a subsisting court order, the community is apprehensive events might snowball into a violent crisis. According to security experts, several violent conflicts in many parts of the country, especially in the northeast, can be attributed to the activities of illegal miners. This is one situation the community and government of Nasarawa State will want to avoid. Ferdinand Duroha.
Yeah, okay. I played that so that we will know the cause for this crisis. We don't really know the cause of this crisis. Personally, I don't know, but people know the cause of this crisis. Is it funny? But anyhow, it is. These people, they are murderers, they are killers. It's not just fair and it's not right. You know, in Plateau State, the VP, the vice president was there, and other people, NSA was there, but the president has refused to go there. I mean, I don't know why the so-called father of the nation, has refused to go there. I don't really know. I saw some videos today, which was, I mean, I saw this guy they call the very black man also. I played this today. Was very, it was my first time of really watching him, seriously. I love what he did. He went to Plateau State. He showed some videos of, I mean, his own fashion. You know, I respect people. I respect people. I respect people for who you are, okay? And for that thing he did, I'm so happy. It doesn't matter. I don't care who. I mean, I don't. I mean, I respect him for that thing he did. Uh, maybe I will show. Let me show the video of what I think he said. Let me play the video. Let me just play the video, okay? Let me play the video. Let's
People
let's
came to
watch it.
attack those poor people. If you remember the video again, where they were pulling a child from behind his dead mother and his dead folks, you understand? So this is where it happened. Now let me tell you what's funny. Bring the camera down. This is tin. This is tin. These are minerals. Look at it on the ground. These are minerals. So it is pretty obvious. See them, come. It is pretty obvious that these people are being killed because of the richness of their land. Can you imagine they had to burn down the place? Come. See, start from here. They had to burn down the place. See these houses? Everything burnt down. We came into this village. There's literally nobody in the village. Like literally nobody. They had to run away from their own land, from the place where they were born, where their grandparents lived. Do you understand? Can you imagine minerals on the ground? See, minerals on the ground. Minerals on the ground. I mean, this land is rich. Why are they doing this? I don't know. It is obvious, but we act as if I don't know for political reasons. But please, Nigerian government, please. Now, I'll take you to where the children are. The children that are being affected. Those people that they killed, their children. I will take you to the IDP camp where they are. If you see them, then let's not even talk about the ones that are in the hospital without hand and legs because of insecurity in Nigeria or because of greed. What we all can enjoy in Nigeria, we have a lot of minerals in Nigeria that we all can enjoy. We are not supposed to be poor in this country. Dubai get only oil, sell Dubai day. We are rich anyhow. Look at this land, plain land. Turn this camera. Look at the land, raise it up. Look at this land, plain land. See, plain, beautiful land with raw minerals on the ground. But yet, Nigerians, we are still suffering. We are still poor. Because of the greed of the people that are supposed to protect us and take care of us. Because of the government. So basically, somebody was trapped in this car. Somebody was trapped in this car and was burnt. Now, these things, where that guy did? What is this? Which bone? Human being bone. What I'm holding now, according to this guy that was here, have you put your face? I know if you show your face, now I just show only your body. So according to this guy, say now waiting. Bones, human being bone. So this is the car. The person was, and as you can see, this is somebody. This is a human being bone. These are bones of somebody. But this is very dark, man, and I'm out here in Jos, Bokos, local government, yeah? Bokos, where the attack happened. So there was an attack on these people. Everybody that you are seeing here, they are not random people. These are like people affected by the attacks that happened on the 24th. It happened on the 24th, 25th, and on the 26th. So a lot of them didn't have the opportunity to do Christmas because of these attacks. And what is funny is that I've done a little bit of investigation. I walked around. Some of them are staying here, and then some of them are staying in this town. Let me see the zinc houses. This place, and then behind. Now come back. So what's going on is, first of all, this is a very big community. How many community was affected? About 28 communities, am I right? About 28 communities were affected, where a lot of houses were burnt. These are like normal people that they go about their day, they make the Irish potatoes that you eat, they send it from here and send it all the way to Abuja, you understand, for you people to eat and you enjoy your life, do you understand? Now, with these people affected, a lot of things that you see in Nigeria cannot be. Alright, so this is another community that was burnt down. Apparently, this one is even bigger than the last one where we were. No, sure, take it around. Follow me. Show the houses. See livestock are being left, abandoned by their owners. Come. See all these places. See people house. See their animals, see generator. Burnt. This place is bigger. Now let me tell you what's funny. From the last place we were to this place, it's like we drove for like 35 minutes on a normal low driving speed. Now come. Apparently this whole thing happened in a day. They attacked different places in a day. Their livestock. Without people to care for them. Come. Sir? I need to rush. You won't make a head back for one side.
Oh, this is interesting. This guy can visit those places. The president could not visit these places. Could not. It's a shame. I love what he did. I love the guy had courage to go. The bill was there. The bill was in that place. People were in that place. This is life scene. You know. I love what this guy did. Always in a very dark man, really black man. I love what he did, man. We're concerned about people. Should share love. We should spread love. Okay.
Abandoned everything. Abandoned. One day attack. They started this attack on the 24th, 25th, and 26th. First day, they attacked multiple places. Like I said, the former distance to this place is over 35 minutes, and they attacked them one day. Meaning, the people that were involved in this attack were up to like maybe 500. They attacked the whole community.
Well, I played that so that you guys could see it. What security in Nigeria? What do we do, man? I tried to analyze before. I said, what is the reason behind it? Is it ethnic cleansing? Is it Fulani? Is it multinational companies that are looking for natural minerals? Those places are blessed. So we should. The security people, they know what is happening. The people know what is happening. So we should know, if you stop killing people, no, go. Let's find out and let's eliminate the root causes. I played the first video of how you see socialist firms doing mining in Nasarawa. So who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? And today in Plateau State, they said they arrested about 8 people that attacked that area. Then there was crisis, so many crises. I don't just know. Seriously, if you ask me what is the reason why, if today they burnt down the house of a chief in that area. They said some chiefs are colluding with them. I don't really get it. Well, Nigerian people, let's wake up. Let's help these people in Plateau State. Nigerian security system, the president, the governors, let's help these people. Because some people are just, they are harmless, they are just there, and they are big kids. This is not fair. This is not right. This is not right. This is not fair at all. It's not right. We should rise up to the occasion. We should rise up to the occasion, man. We should rise up to the occasion. let's listen to our lady Yusuf, Aisha Yusuf. I would say her taking it. Let me see her taking it. Yeah, let's listen to her. Let's listen to her taking it. Let's see, because it's painful to see what is happening in that in that area. Man, it's so pathetic. It's painful. I don't know. I don't know. It's let's listen to her. Let's listen to her.
Nigeria is such an insensitive country. Our security agents, they really don't behave very well at all. Security agencies, all of them just behave anyhow. How is it that people have been attacked? Their people have been killed. They've been massacred. They are busy burying their loved ones. I mean, if you see the gruesome pictures that came out of Plateau State, one of the ones that for me was really so touching was this young man that was buried without his head. He had to be buried without his head. You understand? Looking at that picture is just so touching. I think a few days after the burial, they say they now found the head behind somehow. Some animals have started eating it and all of that. With all of this, pain that people are going through, the soldiers are now coming again to go and arrest some members of the community, youth amongst the community. How do you do that? You didn't go after the terrorists that are killing them. You didn't attack. You didn't protect them. Now you are coming again to add insult to injury, to come and start arresting their people. And what you have now is that the community members have really gone angry. I just see this thing. They say this person said some angry women set ablaze office of the district head of Boko, Saf Mohammed Adanchi, over arrest of some youths yesterday by soldiers. So, and then you see them, the pictures that are coming out burning, and it's that anger. I feel like they just feel that Nigerians don't be to Nigeria, keep pushing the envelope. But the thing that they don't realize is the fact that, look, it's only a matter of time. There is sitting anger in the country. There is so much, it's simmering. Except if somebody is not attuned to what is happening, or a person doesn't have emotional intelligence to really see that the country is on the brink. People are angry. They might be quiet now, but the thing is that when this thing will now explode, everybody, that's for me, that's just everybody will be affected by it all. But right now, instead of the right thing to be done in protecting people, that's not being done. What is being done, or rather, is that oppressing them. So terrorists will first of all come and kill, do everything. Then our own soldiers will now come. They will not go and start arresting people. Instead of you to go after the terrorists, they will not do that. Nigerian military is so fond of doing this. That's why at every time that they find themselves, they don't get the support of the local people, of the locality, because they are always so brutal, and it is the people, the innocent people, that they really go after, rather than going after the perpetrators. And that has really been a major issue with the Nigerian military, and why they are always being accused of human rights abuses and all of that. And that's just not fair. People who have been aggrieved, people who have been killed, people who are being massacred, people who are going through so much, then you now come again, you didn't protect them, you didn't give them good words, you didn't even make them feel protected or anything. You are coming back again to come and start arresting their children. Who does that?
Wow. And she said, who does that? Who does that? Anyway, who does that? I just did this so that let's have the people of Plateau State at heart. Let's be praying for them. Let's God help them, and we don't know the real cause of what is happening over there, man. Okay. I will stop for there. Then um let's go over to EFCC. Yesterday went to okay. Let's go over to the other news for today. It's just analysis from Arise TV. We know what's been happening. EFCC went to Dangote's company to do some search on forex days. So challenges. People have been favored, really. Companies have been favored. Some people, they will give them forex, they will on the normal rate. But even if you don't even do anything, just come out and sell it. You will make times. You will make money. So some people had the opportunity. CBN were favoring some people, give them the normal rate of dollar, bank rate. They will go. They will not use it for forex. They will not. I mean, they will not use it for to import or for importation, but to just go to the black market and sell it off. People make money from there. A lot of money, billions, man. Over the years, not just recently, over the years. So um, let's just watch the analysis of uh, EFCC going to Dangote Group. You know, this Arise TV. I love them. After that, we will go to. We'll just talk. Touch on a few things. Edo State election is there. Rivers State, Wahala is still there. Just God help our country, man. God help our country. Wike with the Wahala, with the Fubara, man. Anyway, um, okay. Let's play this then. Yeah. Let's analyze this.
Crimes Commission, EFCC, is conducting a comprehensive review and investigation into foreign exchange utilization in the last 10 years, which involves scores of leading companies in the country that may have benefited from FX allocation from the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN. The target companies include Dangote Group, TGI, and Flour Mills, among several others. The development might not be unconnected with the investigation over arbitrary FX allocations. Clearly, none of the companies was said to have committed any infractions, as there were yet to be proof of their involvement in criminal activities. Equally, yesterday, former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadiya Umar Farouk, wrote to the anti-graft agency to tender her apology for failing to appear before the commission to answer questions on alleged laundering of 37.1 billion naira during her tenure. But suspended National Coordinator of the National Social Investment Program Agency, NSIPA, Halima Shehu, reported to the agency after she was released Tuesday night. The EFCC is working.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. And in principle, this is nice because we need to be able to investigate the past administration because a lot happened and there are questions that need to be asked. I think we all remember boldly when we saw the then humanitarian minister then sharing money for people in the hands during COVID-19. And we're asking, where is the accountability for all of this? How this money is being shared? The social investment program, a lot of the things they did then looked very nebulous to us. So if EFCC is asking questions, they have rights to ask. But they should also respect the rights and the constitutionally laid down rights of the individuals involved. If you're doing your investigation, respect the rights of the citizen, because despite whatever allegations you have against her, it is just an allegation now. Nothing has been substantiated except it goes through a court process. So I call that respect. But the question I would like to ask is, all of a sudden, I'm not denigrating people for their health. But why is it that when there's corruption allegation, all of a sudden, people that once served in government, they become sick? We even remember a former minister that even went to forge medical papers just to be able to prove that he was sick. That one became another case because there are allegations that he forged the medical papers, so allegations anyway. So all of a sudden they become sick. We remember the case of people that were in severe pain. Anyway, that was not a corruption allegation or anything. Remember some senators that fainted and all sorts of things with health. Because when this same person responded to those allegations at first, I mean, she didn't talk about any, but we cannot say about her health. That's just a side comments, that's a side commentary.
Fair enough.
But it's just very curious to understand why is that all of a sudden when there's an allegation, you have to come and face the authorities, you fall ill. Maybe it's the jitters, I don't know. But it's well within their rights to be able to investigate, because a lot of things need to be done as regards the humanitarian ministry. And also, an eye must be put on the humanitarian ministry, because we have started hearing all sorts of things. People arrested, anyway, people have been changed from their positions. We need to put an eye, because that ministry gets a lot of funding, but we don't see the impact of the funding. I still challenge, apart from people that you put up on camera to be able to show that we gave monies, what is the impact as regards poverty of all the billions and the millions spent? The loan that we took recently to be able to give people in conditional cash transfer, where are the people that money was given to? How has it affected them? How has it changed their lives and prospects? There are many questions we need to ask. And as with other schemes, remember where we say trader money was vote buying, obviously, and how they led the charge of that. Till today, we've not seen the impact on the market, because you see, conditional cash transfer, when you look the Brazilian model, Bolsa Familia, is tied to a goal, and that goal lifts people out of poverty. I keep saying the story of Lula, Inácio Lula da Silva, the current president of Brazil. After he left power many years ago, when he came back for re-election, guess the bulk of the young people that voted for him were the people that benefited from conditional cash transfer over 10 years ago. And a lot of them kept on saying, you know what, I'm a doctor today because of the money Lula was given that time to help my parents to see me through school. And those were the bulk of the young people that voted for him. So you can see the effect of that conditional cash transfer. And when it mattered the most, they paid Lula back in votes. When are we going to see that effect in Nigeria? So that's why we need to look at the scheme. Concerning the EFCC also going, I would also put a caveat out there. It must be in respect of the rights of those people and those companies. There's been a lot of talk about, this Forex situation and all of that. What happened in the last administration? Our allocation was given, to groups like Dangote, TGI, and other companies like that. In fact, the Dangote group said they had first submitted information, so they don't know why the EFCC is going to witch hunt them. In fact, there was another story about the fact that it's another rival business group. But apart from that, the EFCC should be able to do its investigation thoroughly. It's not a case where you harass companies, make them look bad, do media by trial.
Yeah.
And I would like the EFCC to stop media by trial. This is from it. Because it is this same EFCC that makes a hula baloo of everything. But when they go to court, there's no substantial evidence. And they lose the case in court. So please, they should do their work diligently to be able to get to the truth of all of these matters. Because we need to be able to get to the truth of all of these matters. How these monies were spent, how these monies were appropriated, what really happened, who got what, when, and how. That's it. But most importantly, if this government is serious about fighting corruption, like it has shown some signs, and I will give kudos to them, the government needs to audit the NNPC. We believe there's a whole lot more than the NNPC that has not come out. Also, this government needs to audit the NDDC. There was a white paper released, and I challenge this government to release it. There was a white paper released, written as regards the audit of the NDDC. That white paper had been sitting for a year. If this government is ready to fight corruption, they should release the white paper on the NDDC. We challenge them. Let's even know how much, what goes on, what corruption goes on in the NDDC. How much is being spent? Because the government cannot just get a white paper ready as regards recommendations that need to be made, and we are not seeing it in the public. So we even know what happened. How many accounts were in the NDDC? How many accounts did they put around? What was going on in the NDDC all these years? What was the report of the forensic audit? I know it's been written into a white paper. We need to be able to see the end of all of that. Also, we need a proper forensic audit in the NNPC. Let's see what goes on there. What happened in the subsidy, regime? How did NNPC run the subsidy regime? Are they still paying subsidy as we speak today? What's the transparency level in the NNPC? A proper forensic audit is needed. On the money spent hitherto on the refinery till date, a proper forensic audit. If the government does not be vigilant on the NDDC, the NNPC, and some other bodies and all of that, all they are doing will be a charade and a walk in the park. I will not believe that we have an anti-corruption back. Because like we were saying yesterday,
Man, I will come back to them, okay? I'll come back to them. It's just analysis of the EFCC going to Dangote's group of companies to check. Anyway, I believe we should do the needful. Okay, I don't have anything against it. So, but they should do the needful. They should do the right thing. Okay, that's my own. All right. So we'll go back to the we'll, we'll go back to the analysis now. Okay? We'll go to the analysis.
Spend it out on the refinery till date, a proper forensic audit. If the government does not be mishandled on the NDDC, the NNPC, and some other bodies and all of that, all they are doing will be a charade and a walk in the park. I will not believe that we have an anti-corruption ban. Because like we were saying yesterday, it is only 2024 this government have to work. Ayo, at the end of 2024, early 2025, it's going to be officially 2 years to the election. Politicking will have started. When politicking starts, distraction starts. At the beginning of 2026, politicking is going to be in full gear. Early 2027, a new leadership comes in place by February. So it's only this year and probably some parts of 2025 that you really have to do the work. So it's time for this government to get up to this work. Look at the NNPC. The reports of NDDC, the report that was finally written out after the forensic, the white paper, too should be released, because we can't just hear people come faint on TV and we just go like that and they say off your mind. No, that must not be the end of the NDDC matter.
That's right. Well, I'm tempted to sing the famous song of a particular gentleman, turn by turn. Oh. So perhaps, I mean, the EFCC have centered on the, following the investigative reports by the special investigator recruited by the federal government, Jim Obaze. Of course, we had mentioned that it was he had just done the report and they had to go through process before a conclusion was made. So I think it's important to put a caveat there. But in saying that the federal government, the EFCC, must investigate the activities of the NNPC and the NDDC, totally agree with you. But I want to invest a bit of confidence in them, that since they've started on a very great note, especially under the new chair, I mean relatively new, Mr. Lulu Kayode, who seems to be wanting to put his stamp on his fight against corruption, I think this is a welcome development. In terms of how events unfolded yesterday, the EFCC had stormed the Dangote group, and like you rightly mentioned, a spokesperson had said that they'd submitted all the documents they'd asked for, so they felt like it was almost an attempt to embarrass the organization. And so this again goes to that conversation around headlines or audio headlines without thorough investigation. Maybe what a suggestion or perhaps a recommendation to the new leadership of EFCC is less headlines, more convictions. Because it's easy, I mean, we remember the Ikoyi billions, we remember a number of cases, high-profile cases, where there would be a lot of noise and media trial, but at the end of the day, it ends up being nothing, or, there's no conviction because, like you said, lack of evidence. Anyways, they went to the Dangote office, and according to Dangote an official source, they said that they gave them everything they needed. They were able to look into their books for a few hours, and the idea was that there were allegations of round tripping and use or abuse of the use of forex allocated to them as an organization, especially in the purchase of raw materials, so that they got forex from the CBN without approval. I think another thing I must mention in this particular report is that it was said that the CBN governor, the previous CBN governor, had allocated forex without the board of directors approval and also without the investment committee approval. If that is the case, because remember all this is still under investigation, if that is the case, then it would go back again to what we've always spoken about in terms of strengthening institutions. How was the CBN governor able to make certain decisions, including investing or putting forex in different accounts, in overseas accounts, without proper process, due process done? So we need to investigate that a bit further. There's so much I believe this investigation will unravel. The thing is just that as it breaks, as the news break, we talk about the stories each day, but we need a holistic and we need to see this to the complete end so that we begin to see the cracks that exist in some of our key institutions in the country. I think it's really important. I am glad that the groups, it's not just Dangote Group, I think we just mentioned that because they had, that's the one that they went to yesterday. I know that the Boa Group as well, as we talked about yesterday, the TGI, and I don't want anyone to say this is a witch hunt, because every time an investigation starts on an individual or an organization, the first thing they cry is, oh, it's a witch hunt, it's a witch hunt. If hands are clean, then present all the documents. Let there be a detailed look into what has transpired. If indeed the monies allocated for purchase of raw materials or to transact business has been used for what it was, Forex was used for what was allocated, and no round tripping, because they said that it's part of what's contributed to the economic woes of the nation. And so if some organizations are profiting illegally from, or perhaps in a illegal way, let me put it that way, then we must arrest that so that we can stop that, because the economy has been hurt. It has affected the economy immensely in the last few years. And again, heads must roll. Any guilty party, whether previous or current, must face the full consequences. Now, talking about consequences, let me come to the National Social Investment Program Agency, the NSIPA, which was under the purview of at the time, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Social Development, that was headed by Sadia Umar Farouk, who now said that she didn't appear before the EFCC yesterday because she apparently was ill. I pray that she gets full recovery, but when she recovers, she has questions to answer. She must face the EFCC and also Nigerians, because she's accountable. Because, like you mentioned, it is sad that an agency that was set up, because this was the first time that the ministry was established to address the needs of Nigerians living in poverty and to develop lives, human lives and human capacity. It would be such a shame, because according to the EFCC report, out of 44 billion naira that was said to have been transferred to different accounts which seem to have been fronted by certain individuals and organizations, they'd been able to recover trace 30 billion naira of that, and they're looking to ask questions to recover the money. I hope, as we have said, that they will get to the bottom of this. I know the coordinator has been apprehended. The director of finance, who retired in December last year, has been brought in for questioning. There are questions to be answered, and every single penny must be accounted for. Rufa, if you recall, when Dr. Betta Edo was here, especially when she came into the role newly, we had asked her if she was going to probe and look into the books of the previous administration. And I remember she said she was looking forward. I'm glad that the EFCC is taking this forward. And beyond that, the reason why we must have people accountable is that it must serve as a deterrent. If this government is serious about fighting corruption, we don't want the initial, what Nigerians will call gra-gra, and a lot of headlines here and there without any solid or any tangible convictions from this process. We're not saying anyone is guilty, because of course, according to the law, you are innocent until proven guilty. However, if there are questions to be answered, I'd rather the EFCC did a thorough job of investigation before naming and shaming on headlines, because at the end of the day, it also causes reputational damage, whether to the individuals or to the organization, if they're not found guilty at the end of the investigation. Do your investigation thorough, bring people on board, and where they're found guilty, I hope the full weight of the law will be applied in everything, in all the circumstances that we've seen.
I think you should get to the stage where people should start suing the EFCC for the reputational damage done by not properly investigating. Maybe that's when they will learn. Maybe if they have a couple of cases when people sue them heavily for the reputational damage by not doing their work properly.
There's some, the former Minister of Petroleum, Diezani Alice Madueke, sued the EFCC at some point. So there are some people who take them up. But again, it's just the judicial process, the slow processes of the courts. But like you mentioned, absolutely correct, because at the end of the day, what you see online is, oh, Dangote is in trouble. I know in Nigeria, a lot of people just read headlines. They don't see the details of the headline. Or Bua is in trouble, or the humanitarian minister was complicit and all that. We need to emphasize the fact that this is just an investigation. However, it raises a lot of questions, especially following this investigation, and we must see this to the end. Move on to our next story.
Yes, guys, I love Arise TV. I love Rufai and all the analysis they always give. I will come back to them, okay? Now, we'll go to River State, Fubara and Wike. Really, as I've said, Fubara, Wike, who win, I don't care. But for my own, it's Rivers people. Good governor, that's what I'm just after. Because both of them, they rig the election for APC. So I don't really care. But now, Wike, Fubara, I don't know. It's neither here or there. It will be cold one day, it will be hot one day, people supporting one day. I don't really know much. I don't know what that guy is up to. Really, I don't really know. I saw a video. I'll come back to analyze people, okay? Now, I'm not afraid to analyze some few things, okay? He went to go and visit. He went to Bayelsa to go and visit. I don't really. Maybe he wants to parley with the judge there. I don't really know. Okay, I'm not against that. That is good. Good. But what is he up to? What are his plans? What are his plans? So I don't really know. I'll play just a short, uh, not too long, okay? This one is being long, but not too long. Then I'll go back to Arise TV. Just analyze River State and what's on the election and we care and what's on the country. I feel better, okay? Let's listen to him. Let's hear what he's saying.
We have a lot of things in River States that are jointly owned by these two states. It is our desire. I know we've not had this before, but from this particular moment, whatever it is, let us look for a way, settle it, so that we can move ahead. I've always said we cannot attain development in the faces of crisis. We cannot help one another in a situation of anarchy. Peace is the major ingredient for development, not just for us in Rivers, but it's also needed in Bayelsa. So our meeting today is the coming together of two brothers. Yeah, we can answer Rivers Bayelsa, but when we're together, we still remain as one. As one. We have come to our brother with these elders from our dear state to assure you that we are going to be with you going forward. When you sneeze, we will catch the cold together. But we know you're not going to sneeze again. We sneezed in 2023. We ended our cold in 2023. 2024, we're strong. We will forge ahead together as one. We do appreciate them. We want to thank you and also thank our president, who always mention it. It takes a mature and understanding father to always be in a situation and advise rightly. We appreciate him for everything that he has done for us in the face of our trial, and we'll continue to give him all the necessary support. This support is because River State has to be peaceful for Nigeria to forge ahead. It's important everybody understands that River State cannot be in crisis and Nigeria will progress. It's not possible. what affects River State indirectly affects the economy of our country. We have made a promise
for this stuff.
to Mr. President that will support him totally, and the support is expressed as seen by every one of you in our peace accord.
Your Excellency, my brother governor of River State, and very senior members of your entourage, members of the National Assembly are present, both the green and red chambers from both states, and all senior citizens of Rivers and Bayelsa states here present, members of the fourth estate of the realm. There's one that I'd like to recognize very specially. He's a commissioner in Bayelsa, but he's a citizen of River State. The Honorable Commissioner for Joint National Affairs, Mr. Erasmus Patrick, is from Andoni. He's a second tenor commissioner. He's been I think that there can be no better time than now. We have envisaged this long before now. It could have been either way, either myself going to River State or my brother governor coming to Bayelsa. Immediately after their elections, as you know, the whole of 2023 has been an election year, particularly for those of us who are in the off-cycle elections. From February we started and we just ended in November of 2023. So at some point we have to face elections. So we faced elections up until the November 11th governorship elections in our state. And by God's grace, we emerged victorious. And so we are happy. And that's why, and that explains why we didn't take the first slot to actually come to River State to visit my brother, the governor of River State. As has been said there and amplified by my brother governor, Rivers and Bayelsa are one and the same. Our culture, our everything. And that's why even in the recent political misunderstandings that was going on in the state, I chose to be quiet. While I was quiet, we were also working behind the scenes so that there should be peace in River State. Whatever that happens in River State affects Bayelsa State, and vice versa. And so I'm happy there is some relative peace, and we will continue to pray for peace to reign in River State, so that the governor will also have his own time to see his vision through in River State. And so, my brother, you are welcome. Welcome home. Welcome to your state, Bayelsa. The Jaws are the same all across Nigeria, wherever we are. Our culture is the same, everything is the same. And even in this trial, I know by the time we leave this place, even if I don't say it, my own media men will ask, what would you say in this crisis? You have not been talking. Now that your brother governor is here, what is your own thinking on this? My thinking is that there has to be peace in River State.
You will never procrastinate again once you understand this.
Yeah, I think I will stop there. I think maybe I will stop there. Let's go back to the the analysis of or wait, let me just let me take a few minutes before I go back to Arise TV. Okay. Let me
My own men will ask, what would you say in this crisis? You have not been talking. Now that your brother governor is here, what is your own thinking on this? My thinking is that there has to be peace in Rivers State. God should grant you the wisdom to pilot the affairs of Rivers State. All you need now is God's wisdom. And my brother, at this time, you must be tolerant. You must be patient, because you are in the throne as the governor of the state. And when you are on that throne, like I keep saying, when you are in between those two flags, you only communicate with God. And when you communicate with God, God grants you the wisdom to do what is right, that the people will rejoice. The Bible says when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. So my prayer is for God to grant you the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding, so that you will bring River State from where it is to a greater height. And when River State is growing and developing, the spillover effect will be in Bayelsa and vice versa. Even during the crisis, it was almost turning to be an Ijaw Ikwere. And some people came to me and I said, no, it's not. Ijaw people are not fighting Ikwere people. It's nothing like that. We lived together in that state. Ijaws, Ikweres, Ogoni, and all the other ethnic groups, we lived together in old River State. There was no distinction of Ijaw and as if one Ijaw is fighting Ikwere. No, no. And I'm sure all that is coming because the current occupant of the seat is of Ijaw extraction. But I'd like to advise all of us that we should rather look for peace. Let us not escalate it. Let us bring peace so that the occupant of the throne will also have a clear head in pursuing his vision for the state. There are sometimes you will think that, oh, this man has no vision. No. God knows why he brought him in at this point. And it is those who you think that nothing will come out. What can come out of this man? And those are the people that God has deposited so much. So let's give peace a chance to both sides in the crisis in Rivers State. I call for peace, call for understanding, so that Bayelsa and Rivers, we will see development across both states, across ethnic lines. Having said that, when you came to visit the former president, you called and said you were in my territory and that you came to see the former president, and that thereafter you would just say hello before you leave. And later you called to say, unfortunately for other unforeseen circumstances, you are unable to see, and that unfailingly in this new year, you are going to visit me. I too, I thought that it was going to be a very private visit. So I had even told my media not to bother. But because of the visit of the former governor, the immediate past governor of the state, who had earlier chosen today to pay a New Year visit to me in my country home. And when you now called, I said, how am I going to manage these two big men the sitting governor, and my boss, the former governor. I said, okay, God will grant me the space to manage them. And the former governor had been here for over some two to 3 hours now. And so we're almost through before we got the
let me
information
leave this
that
one
we
out.
are
This one,
already here.
enough of
Here we are,
talk.
a very
Okay,
strong
well,
delegation.
it's still Rivers State. So Fubara, we don't know what is his mind. So, well, that's not my business anyway. But just to make us analysis. Anyway, let's go back to them, to Arise TV. Let's hear from them. Okay, let's hear from them. Okay, all right. Let's go back to them. All right. Please, as you watch, kindly like and share. Okay, make comment. Okay, let's uh, let's let's share our thoughts. Okay? All right, let's go to.
Siminalayi Fubara has begun to reach out to politicians within and outside the state, aligning and realigning forces, whose association he thinks can help him navigate the maze of political crisis produced by the recent face-off with his political godfather, Nyesom Wike. Fubara yesterday visited his nearest neighbor, Bayelsa State Governor Senator Duye Dere and Senator Azuta Mbata from Rivers State to seek further unity between the two states. During the visit to Dere, Fubara said he was willing to work with him to achieve a peaceful settlement of issues concerning property jointly owned by both states that were pending in courts. Towards the end of his tenure as Rivers State Governor, the current Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Wike, and Dere had fielded the jointly owned property. Amid the dispute, Wike had ordered the demolition of a Bayelsa-owned property in Port Harcourt and claimed it was unkempt. However, Fubara expressed his strong desire for mutual cooperation when he paid a New Year's visit to Dere at his country home in Sampo in Kolokuma, Opokuma local government area of Bayelsa State. All right. Is this a consolidation of allies or just wanting to do the right thing? I remember very clearly that demolition. We talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about, we even interviewed people like that. Yeah, so in the historical context, so there was the old River State. The old River State also had parts of what is called Bayelsa today. So hence them owning things jointly. And we remember that demolition, a lot of people said was because of Governor Wike's alleged fight, with those in the helms of affairs and the PDP, other PDP governors when he was, mad at them about his own ambition. That was Governor Duye Dere, that was just close to him in Bayelsa State. That's why he went ahead. And it was not only Bayelsa State property, there were many properties Governor Wike damaged. It was very, very larger than life personality while he was there. And he did a lot of things and he got away with it. And him getting away with a lot of things indeed is reflective of Nigeria itself. That people can muscle their way and get away with a lot. But that should not be the order of the day of Nigeria. But as regards this consolidation, Governor Fubara will have to let a lot of political watchers know what is up his sleeves. Because at first he has not said anything. Even the so-called big players he's reaching out to, some of the big players said he had not reached out to them prior to this time. Because those that will stand for him in the Rivers State are the same PDP people that Wike pushed him away from because Wike was building his own empire. So when he said he's reaching to people, out to people like Governor Duye Dere, if things hit the fan in Rivers, is it Duye Dere that will come from Bayelsa to come and fight for you? There are people like Senator Lemi about there. There are people like the Sekibos of this world there, and other top politicians. But you've been too distant from them. And the question is, you are the one that are going forward and going to the back. At first, they had a rally in your honor. A strongman rally. Thousands of people were there. We couldn't ascertain the number of people that were there. Where they sang the Day Your Day song. Yeah. The next minute, you said, things were bad. You had to just sign for peace. In the interest of peace. People that were in the meeting said, you were handheld to sign. And the next minute, you started making moves. People like Edison here that stood with you, all of a sudden we've seen him, he's been sacked, he's had to leave. His own case, his suit against the 27 lawmakers has been taken out of court. Then now you are making every attempt at peace. So he needs to know. But we are saying that you are visiting governor. I just think it's a peace visit. I don't think it's a consolidation visit. I think to a large extent, like I said the other day, when President Tinubu was praising Governor Fubara and said he's a good man, and I reminded him that there's a Yoruba saying that said when they say the boy is good, you know the meaning. So probably he just wants to align with his political godfather. Let's see. Let us see if Fubara is going to reverse and resign into law the budget he has already signed into law after it was passed by the National Assembly. By the State House of Assembly. Let us see. Some of these moves are part of the implementation. Let's see whether that 27 will be reinstated. But it will be political suicide for Governor Fubara to reinstate. Other people too have told me that, hey, Fubara has something up his sleeves. Probably he knows the game he's playing. But I'm sure if he finally comes out on top of this game, I will give it to Governor Fubara as the biggest poker player in the world. Yeah. Because the way he's keeping a straight face, only God knows. He tilts here, he tilts there tomorrow. Nobody even knows what is up his sleeve. So nobody knows his alignment. But I just want to think, like in the game of cards, he has a joker up his sleeves. That's what I want to think. So when they say he's meeting Governor Doyediri and everything, maybe we have to probably align with the PDP fraternity. But I don't think it's to be able to consolidate in Rivers State because he has not shown anything to consolidate in Rivers State. What has happened that his political godfather, although in a way that we do not support, has browbeaten him so much that the elders in the state had to take through the Attorney General, the President, to court over this matter. And the government to court over this matter, saying they did not like the way that he was made to sign this peace deal. So only time will tell. But I know there's still a lot. Maybe this is just, like in a season, when you're having a season film, there's an end of the series. Maybe that's end of series coming soon. So maybe this is season break. Maybe we're just taking a season break. Maybe another installment will start soon. But I should think he has something. Probably. My mind tells me he's waiting to get his Supreme Court victory first.
All right, okay.
That's what my mind tells me.
I totally agree. In this drama that's been unfolding in Rivers State, obviously, the season finale we haven't seen the season finale yet.
The finale is not
and as like you, Rufai, I think a number of observers are waiting to see Governor Fubara's next move. I do think that perhaps you're instituting in him more confidence than a lot of people are feeling, that he has something up his sleeves or he must have a plan, because it's almost like there'll be a wait with bated breath and then nothing happens. Don't go and suffocate in your waiting, in terms of for his next move. In trying to examine this move, he went to Bayelsa State and said that he went to, first of all, thank the governor, Doyediri, who is also in his party, PDP, even though now we're asking questions as to where the PDP stands in all of this, because we haven't seen a significant show of support or perhaps stance from the PDP. In fact, it seems like the governor has leaned more towards the president and by inference the APC during this crisis. But apparently, he said that Governor Doyediri supported him during the political crisis in the state. And also in attendance was the former governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Dixon, Seriake Dixon. And part of what they discussed beyond the political crisis in Rivers State was also the property or the lands that are jointly owned by both states, and the matters in the court as to who owns what, where where one ends and with the other begins. And so, very good. I think this further demonstrates. So I believe this further demonstrates what Governor Fubara has tried to put out in terms of his image, a peace-loving man, unlike his predecessor, who went the demolition way when it had to do with issues concerning Bayelsa. And this caused, of course, tensions between the two states. It appears as if Governor Fubara, in line with his consistency in saying that he's a man of peace and was willing to pay any sacrifice for the good of the people of Rivers State, this is another move in that direction. In terms of, I'd rather settle things amicably. And this must be praised, because whether we like it or not, everything in governance, politics, there must be some form of diplomacy. It doesn't always have to be force and, demolitions and just, attacks here and there. There can be civil ways of resolving conflicts. And I think in that regard, the governor has made a good move in terms of, let me mend fences with my neighbors because of things that, the tensions that have occurred, especially with the past administration. Now, to what extent would a peaceful move benefit the governor in this instance? Some people have said that perhaps he was too docile in his response to former Governor Wike and that he capitulated when he ought to have stood his ground and established himself as the Chief Executive Officer of Rivers State. That is still yet to fully unfold, as we've mentioned. And so what people are hoping is that because he has the support of the people, the elders in Rivers State, a majority of the people in Rivers State, they hope that he would stand against any kind of oppression or intimidation whether from former governor, whether from political actors, or even at the federal level. That it was important that he put the people first, as it seems to have his body language is. Again, is this a reaching out to allies, or perhaps just a branch of peace, an olive branch extended to their neighboring states, whom we call the sister states, where they've had issues around land matters, encroachment and the likes? We will wait to see that. But Governor Fubara hasn't played the move enough for us to determine where he stands or what he's doing. But like you mentioned, Rufai, I totally agree. It would be the political move of perhaps the year or decade of a political actor if we see him come up with a joker card and I think that's what a lot of people are waiting. What does this man have up his sleeves, especially as it regards politics in Rivers State? Or would he just, as with his manner, just promote peace until the end of this first tenure, which I think after this he would probably really not be coming back if he continues on to toe this line. Move on to our final story this morning. Sierra Leone has reportedly rejected a request from the Economic
Guys, wow, wow. I hope guys please kindly like and share as we share views, okay? As we share views, okay? I still have some things to talk. We'll still go back to Arise TV to play one interview. Because interview I watched it, it was so funny. It was funny. I will play that, okay? But before then, Edo State is on as per what is his name? Obaseki and his deputy, and their grievances. People are coming out to say many things, and the guy is not, that Shaibu is not capable enough. Well, man, it's interesting anyway. It's very interesting. Politics, all these people, you cannot trust them. They're just after their own selfish interests. But it's good for one to try to fight on. Keep on with the dream. If you believe you can make it, keep on with the dream. That is the truth. That's just the truth. So personally, for me, I don't really care as per se what is next. But I heard one guy was just is it Osanini or something. He said the guy is not good enough. Let's watch, let's listen to him, what he's saying. Then we'll come back again, we'll go back to the analysis.
Is expected to be a
Arise
fierce
TV.
contest involving Governor Obaseki's appointed aspirant, so far SEGUN OSOBA, Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, Anselm Ojezwa, who is a former chairman of the All Progressive Congress, who followed Obaseki to the PDP, and of course John Yakubu, a former chairman of Isan Northeast local government area, and whoever emerges as also the consensus choice of the legacy coalition led by Chief Dan Obi, PDP's national vice chairman South, who is also at war with Obaseki. SEGUN OSOBA appears to be the man to beat in the race so far for the party's ticket. But his challenge is the fact that he has been anointed by Governor Godwin Obaseki, who of course is seemingly looking like, godfather of today's Edo politics.
Deputy Governor Philip Shaibu, a former member of the Edo State House of Assembly and the House of Representatives, insisted that loyalty to Obaseki had nothing to do with his ambition, and no one can stop his aspiration to take part in the primaries on the platform of the PDP and succeed Obaseki. Joining us this morning from Edo State, PDP chieftain Ose Aneni. Thank you very much for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year
Let's
to
do
you
so
too.
just
Counting
for a
down
while, then
to
we'll
what
go back
will
to
be dubbed the fight
the
to finish,
interview
like
of
some
one
would
of the
say. There's so much that's been
this
happening
Edo
with
State
Edo
stuff.
State
Okay, let's
politics.
just
I think
put
I'll
them
start
to it.
off with the position and the chances of Edo Central Senatorial District emerging. I did hear that there was a meeting that happened a few weeks back or a few days back where there was an agreement that by the 6th of January, that would be tomorrow, they would then find one candidate to represent Edo Central Senatorial District. So talk to us about the strength of these senatorial districts emerging as the winner in the governorship elections.
Dieser geniale Smartphone-USB-Stick verschiebt alle Fotos von deinem Telefon.
Okay, wait, just a moment, please. We'll go back to this one. Okay. All right. Okay.
Sort of a narrative spin. I don't want to call it propaganda on what the reality is. And I think my concern is the media is buying into these narratives. For instance, you opened by saying that my aspirant, Asue Ighodalo, is the governor's appointed candidate. That isn't true. You say it's, this contest is rife with bitterness and animosity. That also isn't true. Just yesterday, you referenced the special committee, this Edo Central PDP special committee. They had a meeting yesterday ahead of the Saturday 6 meeting, and two aspirants in a show of, I think, brotherly love and putting forward the interests of Edo Central stepped down for Barrister Asue Ighodalo. Honorable Right Honorable Itola stepped down, and Kenneth Abulime also stepped down. And so, one of the things I always talk about when I speak about the PDP is our DNA of conflict and dispute resolution. And that sort of is what you're seeing playing out. So on Saturday, Edo Central PDP is going to take, we think, a consensus position on who our best candidate is, who our best aspirant is. It's by no means certain that we will get the nod, which goes sort of like to the third concern I have when people say our candidate is favored to win or he's the most favored. We've been on the road. We got in last night at about 10 p.m., knocking on doors, trying to convince people not really to endorse our aspirant, but on the imperative of peace and unity within the party. And we saw this play out at the national elections. The party is divided going into what will be heavily contested elections. We have challenges from the APC and from the Labour Party. We say it everywhere, we will lose the election. I'm not just a PDP chieftain, I'm a legacy PDP chieftain. And so if you see me coming out supporting one candidate, if you see me going out speaking about peace, unity as the only way forward, it's our reality. It really is our reality. So I just wanted to make that point. Let me just finish this thought. It really is important to us to focus on what the issues are. As a party, it isn't about godfatherism or anointing candidates. It isn't about denying the rights of anybody to contest. Philip Shaibu was good enough, for instance, to be a deputy governor under the PDP. No one is going to come out to say he isn't competent. But there are more competent candidates. No one is going to come out to say he isn't compassionate, but there are more compassionate aspirants. And we will not deny anybody the right. But what we think is important is in allowing everybody to express their freedoms and rights to contest. We need to understand that after our primaries in February, there's a general election we need to win, and we need to avoid the mistakes we made earlier in February.
Yeah. All right. Good opening for you, and apologies for the the points that you noted. I also want to ask this seems to be the most not the most highly contested Edo election, because 2019 was pretty tough with Godwin Obaseki of course moving to the PDP and the Oshomole factor back then. You remember it was one of the biggest conversations in Nigeria back then. Now we're talking about fresh elections this year. I don't think we've seen this many candidates trying to win Edo State. Even if the primaries haven't been done, But there are just so many people. There's, Olumide Akpata. I've honestly never seen this number of people trying to win Edo State. So tell me why that is. And then also talk a little bit more about the Obaseki factor. You've said, there's nothing like godfatherism here, but there's, people who have said that, yes, he will pick a candidate that will, take over from him. And that's, the very first step to godfatherism according to Nigerian politics.
Well, I'll answer your second question first before I talk about why there's so much interest in the Edo election. Last week, for instance, I was in my village, Uromi. I spoke to the ward executives. I don't know if you saw the news stories, where about 55 of them, the entire ward executives of Esan Northeast local government area, came out to endorse the aspirant. I haven't spoken to Governor Obaseki. I haven't met him in this election cycle. What we did had nothing to do with godfatherism or imposition or his interests or his agenda. And I think that's I want, away from what happened in 2020, where there was an attempt by the APC, Oshomole, and President Tinubu, former Governor Tinubu at the time, to put, to have their will on the outcomes of the 2020 election. I think this is markedly different. And so that allows me to pivot to your first question, why is there so much interest in Edo State? I think what this reminds me of is what happened under the PDPs, where we saw the transformation when Obasanjo transformed the economy and it was growing. And you actually saw a lot of people leaving well-paid jobs abroad and coming back, to pursue their careers in Nigeria. I think what has happened under the PDP, under Governor Obaseki's leadership, is he sort of has set out a template that allows people, look at the state and say, you know what, I can actually build on what he has done and do things transformational. And that's why Barrister Ighodalo is in the race. We call him a transformational leader because even though Obaseki was, the pilot or captain of an economy that was accelerated, we feel there might be certain areas where there were certain disconnects between what the people wanted and what he felt the state needed to do. And so he has laid a very, very robust foundation of growth. But what we are trying to do now is come out and let people understand that we have not just a commitment to growth, but a commitment to inclusive and transformative growth. So I think that's why you have so many people coming into the race. And it's exciting. I think as an Edo citizen, when you look across the field, obviously, I'm wearing the hat. I believe my candidate is the most competent and the most compassionate. But if you look across Labour Party, you have aspirants like Sergis Ogun and Olumide Akpata. Even, God forbid, you look across APC, you have a Clem Agba. I think Edo State, if, democracy is allowed to truly play it, truly function, if we don't see the ridiculousness we saw in the general elections in February and the votes of the people count, I'm optimistic that we'll end up with a governor that truly will serve the interests of the greater Edo people. And I'm hopeful that it's Dr. Asue Ighodalo.
All right. If, excuse me, your candidate emerges the winner of the 2024 gubernatorial elections, talk to us about what he will come to meet in office. And I ask this because what we see a number of times, even at the federal level, is that they come and they complain about what they've met. For example, we've already started hearing a number of complaints about how even the roads leading to the over 182 wards would be a challenge. Getting election materials, we're counting down to elections in September 2024, but even getting election materials across to these wards would be a challenge. And people are already complaining about how towards the past couple of months, governorship has, or governance has taken backseat because of the challenges or the fights between the governor and his deputy. So what would you say is the current situation of Edo State in terms of infrastructure development, and what will your candidates be coming to meet should he win?
So I hope my governor will forgive me for my honesty. I think, okay, so let me try and explain this. So what has happened is that federal government roads have failed in Edo State. And what then happened? So, we're building a 4-star hotel in Ekpoma. And what we notice is you now see trailers and heavy duty vehicles avoiding the federal government roads and then entering state government, trying to drive through town. And you've degraded the federal government roads, and then you degrade inner city roads that aren't built or engineered to carry that type of weight from those heavy vehicles. And so you see, despite the fact that he has done some work with infrastructure, I think maybe politically, his decision and the federal government's, I think, petty decision to abandon federal government roads and the Obasanjo's decision to not for his government has failed. But, I'm a pollster. We polled for the presidential elections, and the pain points of the average Edo citizen isn't just roads. It's insecurity, it's jobs, it's unemployment, it's healthcare, it's education. And if you look at those other sectors, for instance, I know Edo State has the lowest out-of-school children in Nigeria. I know we have one of the lowest infant and neonatal and maternal mortality rates in Nigeria. I know we have the best educational program in Edo Best. I know we have the best, most modernized civil service in Edo State. And so when you talk about what is hopefully my aspirant and my candidate and the future governor, Dr. Asue, that they're going to inherit, yes, there are deficits, there are severe infrastructural deficits. I'm from Uromi in Edo Central. We have an acute water scarcity problem, but there are also things that we can build on. So even in Edo Central, we have the Uboha water works that Governor Basiki has started. Reticulation has gotten to parts of Uromi, but hasn't extended across the whole state. I think it's a basic fundamental human right, and it's something we are committed to doing if we get into office. And so there are good things, but there's also some work to be done. I'm not going to say that Obaseki scored 100%, but I think he did well enough within the area that he felt were priority areas for him. He has laid, like I said, I referenced accelerated economic growth. What we're trying to do now is to build on that and actually link it with the people and their pockets.
So you agree that he could have done a lot better,
everybody
in many
could.
aspects.
Everybody could. Obama could have done better. Clinton could have done better. I see my sisters. But he did his best, and we'll continue from there. We won't be distracted by finger pointing or anything. I think he did his best.
We could agree on that, that was his best, because, but the challenge is that it's an 8-year period, if this is all we could achieve in 8 years, it's not. I don't know that a lot of people will give that a pass mark, but Obasanjo's time is up, so.
No, but
so
my brother,
we'll
I think, and forgive me for pushing back, I think, it's almost pedantic to say, you can only do development when you build roads and bridges. And I always use River State, for instance, where Wike was Mr. Projects and he did roads and bridges, but River State was one of the poorest states in the country. And so if you fail to link economic growth with the people and your infrastructure, then there's a problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I want you to speak a little bit more about the opposition. Philip Shaibu, I don't know if we have any confirmation on what party he eventually will be running under, if it might be the PDP or not. And of course, the Labour Party factor in Edo State. It seemed to be very, very, very big during the presidential elections. I don't know if it still has that fire today. Of course, if these are concerns that you have in Edo State, is Edo State still a PDP state, or is it totally up for grabs as it stands?
So the PDP is a family. So when you talk about our opposition and you reference Philip Shaibu and not the people in opposition camps, it's a little bit amusing. We were together with Philip Shaibu when our leader, Chief Dan Obi, hosted everybody to this annual Christmas event he holds in his village in Edo North. And all the PDP aspirants were there. Barrister Asue Godalo, Philip Shaibu, Anselm Ojezwa, everybody was there. We truly are a family. We might compete because only one person ultimately is going to become governor, so we might compete amongst ourselves, but there really isn't any bad blood or animosity definitely between our camp and Comrade Philip Shaibu. When you talk about opposition outside our party now, for instance, in the APC, I would struggle to understand why any Nigerian or any Edo citizen We'll look at the poverty that the APC has and suffering they've imparted on us, on the lives of every single Nigerian, even yourselves in the studio. We're hearing rumors that there's going to be another increase in price fuel. There's another cash scarcity. There's still rising insecurity. We saw what happened in Platreau recently. Why would anybody, under any reason, vote for the APC? It's ridiculous. And so I would rather focus on the Labour Party. I think a lot of people mistake the obedient movement for the Labour Party. And so the tsunami we saw in February was down to, the candidature of Peter Obi and the people supporting him. We have had 3 out-of-cycle elections where the Labour Party barely made a blimp. We don't want to dismiss them, because I think the obedient movement was one of the strongest in Edo State. And we are actually actively courting them because we believe our values and theirs sort of align. And so we're not dismissing them. But I don't think at this point in time we are too worried about general election. We're focused on crossing this first finish line of our primaries. And those are the engagements we're having. If you recall, we have a very strict INEC timetable, so campaigns haven't really started. So all of this is me not actually speaking to Edo people. We will, but I'm speaking to fellow PDP members, fellow PDP leaders, that they need to understand that if we don't come together and unite, if we don't mend these fences and put aside egos and past hurts and grievances, we will not win the election.
Will you be willing to support anybody who emerges from the PDP? If it's not Aswa Ighodalo eventually, will the PDP still unite and support whoever it is that emerges, including yourself?
Of course, I always tell the story of, if you recall, I ran for the House of Reps candidacy in 2022, and I wasn't too happy with the way things played out. I didn't get the ticket. But the first thing I did was, when Louis Osaba was declared the winner of the primaries we held, I went to the cameras, there were TV stations there, I held up his hand and I pointed to him as the winner. I was the only person that actually signed the result sheet. I don't think Louis signed. He was too excited celebrating with his supporters. And so this idea that, if you don't get it, you must destroy, pull down the house, isn't something that, I support or approve of. It isn't, it isn't our culture in the PDP in Edo State, at least. Whoever emerges is a PDP candidate and we will support them fully. What I truly believe that, we are making the superior argument. I truly believe that we are the ones putting in the hard work. I truly believe that we are the only ones committed to uniting this party so that we can be successful in September. And so I believe we'll win, but regardless of that, whoever emerges will absolutely get my support.
How exactly can we ensure that when we get a new administration in Edo State, we don't see the kind of disagreements that we saw with the current administration, especially towards the end? And to be honest, it's not particular to Edo State. We've seen it happening in a number of states where the president and the governor and the deputy governor are not really able to find a good working relationship. So are there fears and concerns that might be an issue in the next administration?
I would say yes. So that, if God forbid it happens, I'll be on record of having said it. I think, we can try and be idealistic of what we would want to have. I would, for instance, love to have a deputy that is on the same page ideologically with my candidate. But this is a political process.
I think
and even the decision of picking who ultimately becomes the deputy governor must go through a political process. It's not really one person's decision to go. That's not how
this for Edo State
work. So, for instance, we might have
there is
the seats to one.
the party is doing their own. PDP is doing their own. The PDP they're also doing their own.
I think part of what we
let's watch out, okay? Let's watch out. Let's watch out. We pray for the best candidate to win. All right, that's my own. I want the best candidate to win.
His priority reason,
so now, I think with the last video now, I played this video. This video made me to laugh. His interview with
if you agree with them,
with Osoba,
join me on
with Osoba.
So I'm hoping by the time
I just
get
play
past the primary
with a nice TV also, and we'll come back. I'll call it a day. Okay. I hope you guys have been enjoying. I mean, please kindly like, kindly share. And kindly follow our YouTube channel, follow subscribe to our YouTube channels, follow our Facebook pages, our Instagram. Kindly do that, and our Twitter too. Also follow. And that is it, right? So let's listen to this one. Maybe I won't be able to play all, but just enjoy the let's enjoy the conversation, okay? All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. All right, let's play it.
Nationwide broadcast on Monday in the celebration of the New Year 2024 outlined in his speech the objectives of his administration for 2024 as well as his broadened plans for Nigerians in the new year. Tinubu listed his administration's 8 priority areas to include national defense and internal security, job creation, macroeconomic stability, investment environment optimization, human capital development, poverty reduction, social security, amongst others. It's been 7 months since Tinubu took over from his predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari, but Nigerians are still hoping to see an actualization of Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Joining us on the morning show to discuss this and other pressing issues in Nigeria as we build on this year 2024 is Chief Olusegun Osoba, former governor of Ogun State. Good morning, sir, and welcome to the morning show.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Nice to be with you.
Well, Chief, thank you very much for joining us. As a political leader and also as a citizen. Let's begin by asking you what your expectations are for the year 2024 in terms of how you expect Nigeria to turn out.
I have a reasonable confidence that the year 2023 is going to be like perhaps the worst of the years that we have ever had. Starting from that, I strongly believe that year 2024 will be the beginning of the year of the president's renewed hope, particularly when he now has the budget passed and he can now start implementing his vision from the fiscal arrangement that he has put in place, which the National Assembly strictly approved for him.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Now, according to the PDP, they've described the hardship occasioned by the president as reckless, ill-advised, insensitive, and programs from this administration not well thought out. What's your take on this?
We don't expect the PDP to see anything positive about this government. They went all out up to the point of becoming what I would call exhibiting inordinate ambition to be president. Of course, they lost at every level. They are still nursing the great wound, and therefore they use all kinds of languages to describe the situation in the country. I do agree that things are very tough for everybody, irrespective of one's status in society. There is nobody in this country who is not feeling the pain and the current hardship. That I will admit, that I will not pretend not to know, but I can tell you that the government at the same time is struggling very hard to contain the hardship and reduce the pain.
Okay.
Let's speak about the hardship. It's not just the hardship. The people are dying. Something happened in Platreau. Till date, the president has not visited. And Happy New Year to you, sir. Good to see you again, sir. The president has not visited.
I always tell you, today we are going to have some box punches. I'm ready for you.
God bless you, sir. Yes. Sir. So, as I was saying,
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, sir. So, as I was saying, people are dying. There's a lot of pain. The removal of subsidy increased the pain. No money in the pockets of people. And like Dr. Abati has been quoting an economist saying that 2024 will be one of the worst years economically for Nigeria. The National Assembly accepted extra 1.2 trillion in the budget, which a lot of Nigerians are complaining about. What would you like to say to President Tinubu, your very good friend, to do as regards all of this?
Of course, the National Assembly, they have exercised their duty, including the increase in the budget. But increasing the budget is one thing. Implementing the budget is another thing. The president will set his own priority. It does not follow that the president will take all the increases and just go haywire. They've done their own. It is now left for the president to now prioritize his own agenda within what the National Assembly did. As to the pain, I have direct access to him. In the last 10 days, I've had 2 audiences with him, and we have had very deep and serious discussion. And part of my own role as an elder statesman who is not looking for anything from government, I'm not asking for oil block, I'm not asking to be ambassador to any nation. I am contented at 84. How much can I eat and how much are my needs? So we are there to give him counter information, to advise him, and we do that. And I can assure you, he's a listening person. I had a quality time with him on Christmas Day. Even my grandson engaged him in discussion, and the young boy was very honest with him and told him some of the feeling that is going on. So I can assure you, you talk about Platreau, it's most unfortunate. I must tell you that there's no Nigerian who will not cry for what happened in Platreau. The unnecessary killing, and we need to have a really well-organized, broad-based policy to contain this intercommunal conflict that is bedeviling us all over the country. I assure you, he is very much on top of it. The issue of token appearance, it is not just token. He must be ready when he's going to go there to be able to tell them some of the major steps and actions that he is going to take to contain this situation that has been going on, particularly in the Middle Belt. For many years in Benue, there was a series of killings in the past many years, and this intercommunal over so many issues, religion, land, is one of the major problems that President Bola Tinubu inherited.
Well, sir, you in response to Ayo's question earlier on, you said the opposition, PDP, Labour Party, what do you expect them to say? Is it that you think that the opposition party is made up of just noisemakers who should be disregarded? When we have seen very clearly that the opposition parties are likely to play a more frontline role in the course of the year and in the immediate future, in preparation for the next round of general elections. We've seen Peter Obi of the Labour Party issuing statements on virtually every issue, expressing his opinions, visiting spots where there are issues across the country and making his own contribution. The same with Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party? Is it the mindset of APC leaders that these opposition leaders are just noisemakers who should be ignored? What would they say anyway? Or the APC mindset is along the line of robust engagement with the opposition and listening to the opposition? What is the reality?
Well, I agree. I expect what they are doing. That is their role. You use the word robust. Robust. I agree with you. There must be robust engagement. If they don't engage us robustly, how will we know some of our shortcomings, our own challenges? I mean, even when Obi went to Platreau, making token appearance, it's part of robust engagement. We did it before when we were in ACN. We robustly engaged President Jonathan heavily. So what they are doing is they are playing the role that expected of the opposition. I just use that word to say, well, what do you expect from them? Because look, we are in government and they throw punches. We will defend the punches, and where necessary, we will give a little brushing of their own face too. But I agree that they are within the bounds of opposition in a way that they are being critical, and we will analyze their statements, their reactions, and see whatever we find will be useful. But they also are very close to Papa Abufami Awolowo. Awolowo will not just lambast the government of the day, he will offer alternatives. So I expect the PDP and the Labour Party to continue to engage us, as you said, robustly, but they themselves, if they want to be honest with themselves, should now give alternative to the policies that we may be executing.
All right, a fair point there in terms of giving alternatives to the policies that the ruling party is executing. But I'd like to take you back to your statement about the fact that even your grandson, as young as he is aware of the acute hardship faced by the Nigerian people. And you said that he posed the question to the president and the president responded with some of the things he planned to do. We heard we heard the people in the background, the market men and women, when the president's convoy was going to the Jumat prayer just before the new year, saying, Ibin Bawa, which translates to, we are hungry. And we heard chants around that. Usually, when the president is in his own domain, you would hear chants of, praises and welcome. But the people couldn't hold back their hunger, their thoughts, and just the simple fact, people are hungry. They want to get out of this situation they're in. As an elder statesman, what would you advise the president going forward? What are some key things he must put in place to at least alleviate the sufferings of the people, despite some of the necessary policies he's had to make in order to move the nation forward?
I wouldn't advise the president via a rise, of course, because I have access, as I told you. I had just on Christmas Day, even though it was Christmas Day, I had quality engagement and discussions with him. Yes, there is hardship, there are problems. We expected it because as of the time that President Bola Tinubu assumed office, there was not a single allocation for oil subsidy. The previous administration did not allocate a kobo for 1st of June, for 30th of May, for oil subsidy. What else do you expect from President Tinubu when he cannot go outside the act? The law is there, not one kobo allocation. He had no choice than to pronounce the removal of subsidy because he will have breached the law immediately he was sworn in if he continued with the subsidy because no allocation in the budget for fuel subsidy. And naturally, the multiplier effect of oil subsidy started immediately. It is a common sense. I don't have to be an economist. The cost of transportation shot up by almost 500 to 1,000%. And that naturally will affect even food products, will affect every aspect of our life, will affect movement, will affect workers going to work. Somebody who will spend maybe 50 naira to and fro from work will now be spending 1,000 naira. That affects the pocket of the individual. This I know very well. And I'm aware that the removal of subsidy has affected every aspect of our lives. And there's no segmentation. Both the rich and the poor are feeling it. Even in the private sector, I keep talking to the big players in the industry. They are feeling the pain of the exchange rate. These are policies that President Tinubu had no choice. But what you can say about him is that he exhibited great courage, I would say, to have taken such very painful, very hard decisions. And the reaction that you are talking about, even when he was going for Jumata, naturally, we don't expect people to hail the government in every aspect. You hear, and then you go back home and rearrange things and be conscious of the situation on the ground. So I agree with you. But what would have been the alternative? We were virtually subsidizing the economy of all our neighboring countries. Smuggling was thriving heavily. The past administration was borrowing heavily to pay salaries. They didn't have even room for 1 kobo for capital development. Must we continue in that way?
Okay.
That we are borrowing money.
Okay, sir.
To run recurrent expenditure.
Okay, sir. But a lot of people argue with you that this idea to tout Tinubu as a hero, President Tinubu as a hero for removing subsidy, it's not working because we are still paying subsidies. Even some have argued, probably at a lesser amount, but there's still subsidy on petrol. When you look at it, and that smuggling you're still talking about still goes on. Our neighboring countries are still tapping from our oil because we still have one of the cheapest oil compared to some other countries. Secondly, you talked about borrowing, sir. We are still borrowing heavily. Between the 6 months threshold or 7 months that he's been there, he spent 7.9 trillion. 7.3 trillion that he's now going to, the National Assembly to help him securitize for ways and means. That's money printed. So we are still borrowing heavily. And in fact, he just put another loan request of over 7 billion, another 100 million euros. So all the things we so-called claim that he has done, they have not worked. That's the argument a lot of people put, that he didn't think through before removing subsidy. And my last question would be, if you are to rate President Tinubu's administration in 7 months, what score would you give it over 10?
I won't come out into public and start rating. You see, you rate based on facts and figures. What you have raised, for example, the issue of still borrowing. When the treasury is empty, when the previous administration was borrowing to pay salary, and you got in, the whole place is empty. What else can you do other than, in the meantime, starting for now, you have to borrow to fill the gap? That does not mean that the culture of borrowing will go on forever and ever. It's only 7 months in office now. So that's my first reaction. You met an empty treasury. There was nowhere to turn to other than to still engage in a little bit of borrowing. But after the first year in office, the whole thing will be reviewed and we'll see our way through. So talking of still borrowing, when your pocket is empty, you have to go to your bank to show you up for some time. it depends on how you now manage that situation. And then when you say, as many people claim, how come that at the time that petroleum was selling, at the rate it was selling, in other neighboring countries, the prices were different? If the subsidy has no effect, why were people demonstrating in Cameroon if they are not feeling the pinch of cheap oil coming from Nigeria?
They increased. Nigeria's own petrol price has remained constant. So the question is, we say we remove subsidy, but we are still paying the subsidy today. And you are comparing this administration with Buhari administration, which we know was another wasteful one. But the truth is, in about 6-7 months, we have gotten about 7.3 trillion in ways and means. Buhari's 8 years, what we were talking about was about 22-23 trillion in ways and means. In 7 months of Tinubu's administration, over 7 trillion compared to 22 trillion in 8 years. That's abysmal. So people are saying that the borrowing in this administration is unbelievable.
I have explained to you that we are lucky. By 1st of June, the whole system had been set up to totally collapse. That's what I'm telling you. If we didn't go the way the government had to go, okay, take for example, let me give you one thing I discussed with him on Christmas Day. I can reveal that. In the issue of foreign exchange, do you know that we Nigerians are also not happy? The amount of money out of the system. Me, as a grassroots person, as a journalist, and you know my area is investigative journalism, even ordinary drivers, ordinary vulcanizer, they are changing their little naira to 50 naira, 50, they'll keep the $20 at home, $50 at home. You see, the confidence that everybody lost before Tinubu came in spilled over into his administration. I've had to tell him, I said, look, Mr. President, can you do something? The amount of money out of the system is enormous. What can you do to encourage people? I even told him, go as far as saying, well, look, ICPC, EFCC, stop querying source of fund. Let them bring all this money that they are high. Even the scarcity of naira. I told him, I said, some people are keeping, even the new naira note that was supposed to be in circulation, some people are keeping it, and they are selling it at event center, party centers. We Nigerians ourselves need to change our culture. I can tell you, he is in pain. And when we talk to him, I can see the pain in him. So you see, as I said, it's only 7 months. Let's try a little bit more. Maybe by the time it's a year or so, like Wole Soyinka said, we will do a massive review of the whole thing.
Well, Chief, let's talk about the subnationals. You've been governor twice. In the report submitted...
This what?
Sir? In the report submitted by the...
You said, let's talk about what?
The state governments, because we've been focusing on Tinubu and the federal government.
Yeah.
Now, the National Bureau of Statistics, in its Q3 third quarter report on capital importation, the flow of foreign direct investment into Nigeria, reported that 27 states of the Federation recorded 0 FDI. In 2022, it was 28 states. This year, MBS tells us, okay, Abia has been able to move out of that bracket because it has attracted investment. Why is it that our state governments are not centers of productivity? They just go to Abuja every month to go and collect their share of a federation account. As a former governor, what do you think we can do to make these state governments, these states productive? Considering the fact that Nigeria is blessed with resources everywhere, is it this attraction of federal allocation that is making many of our states unproductive?
I agree with you. As a former governor, I'm amazed about the size of government in the states. I'm amazed at the cost of governance in the state. I am amazed about the so-called importation of technocrats into the system. When I was governor in Ogun State, I did not go into government with a single messenger. I did not have a chief of staff. I used all the permanent secretaries as equivalent of chief of staff, permanent secretary, government house, permanent secretary, governor's office, permanent secretary, political. In fact, my rural identification, which is massive in every part of, was handled by Wale Bajomo, a permanent secretary. So I'm amazed and I'm disappointed at the size. In my time, if I'm going to Abuja, Mrs. Shodimu, the then catering officer, will go ahead of me, buy whatever needed to be bought to prepare my meals while I'm in Abuja, and we all return to Abeokuta. I didn't have a full-fledged workforce in Abuja, and I wasn't ever going to Abuja unless there was need to go to Abuja. Now, many governors spend more time in Abuja. I can tell you all these things are not something that you can defend at all. And I agree with you. I was talking to the local government executive of Abeokuta South a few weeks ago when they came to see me. And I told them that they should be up and doing. I gave an example. I said, people perpetuate their name and they want to have their name in perpetuity by writing to local government requesting for a street to be named after them, and you are acceding to it with only 200,000. I said, anybody who wants a street named after him, you should ask him, what has he done in that street? Has he tarred the road? Has he erected a solar panel around it? And that anybody who wants a street named after him, try to put a premium of 5 million. And from there you make more. They couldn't understand. When I was telling them many ways that even the local government can make money, and the state government, I can tell you, the state government, even in Ogun State, they are not collecting tenement rate, land use decree. We elite. I mean, I'm living in a mansion. It's because I was former governor. I pay my rate up to. I have to ask them. They don't even send me notices. But I mean, Governor Dakpabiadu is now trying to now computerize the system, where you have all the land, and then this is the way to make money. In London, I have a house. I pay council tax. Demand is always the demand from me. There are many ways state government, all those of can make money. All those of us building mansions in Southeast, mansions in many parts of the country, we should be made to pay tenement rate, ground rent, and everything. So I can tell you the state government need to be up and doing in a way that even we, the elites, who are just changing government, are dealt with.
All right, thank you very much. I was just having a look at a review of your meeting with the president as the governors of the class of 99 in July last year, following the inauguration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And some of the things former Governor Lucky Benedion said after the meeting was that you discussed unemployment, you discussed palliatives, you discussed electricity, and some of the things that the former governors, 1999, said we're looking forward to seeing during this administration. I'd like to talk about unemployment because that's another key area for this particular administration. We don't have the unemployment figures. Well, the figures released was using an adjusted rate and just looking at underemployment instead of unemployment in its whole. We've seen in the last year a rapid rate of what we call the Japa syndrome. And this is that many Nigerians, young ones, talented Nigerians, have gone abroad, migrated for better prospects at life. We need to contain that situation. Well, we also need to create jobs in this country. How would you rate this, the situation of things in terms of unemployment, and what should we do going forward to ensure that not only are we able to create employment for the teeming Nigerian population, especially the young people, but also to create an enabling business environment for businesses to thrive in Nigeria?
Yes, I see that as a major challenge, because I am aware many graduates, after going through course of studies, are frustrated. A graduate has no job, roaming around the street, having to do menial job, having to be working in hotels. It's not the kind of thing that I wish to see. When I was young, in those days, as soon as people come out of University of Ibadan, a car and a portfolio is waiting for them. In my day, when I came out of High School, with only school start, many jobs are waiting for me. The situation is not like that at the moment. That is a serious challenge. But you see, unfortunately, it's coming at a time when the exchange regime, intervention of everything has affected even the private sector. The industrialists sourcing for foreign exchange for imported products for their factories are not increasing workforce. So let's wait for the major intervention, like I said, and hopefully, he told me he was going to sign a document, he told me on Christmas Day he was going to sign a document to encourage people not to continue to bury money in their houses, in their vault, under their bed. I think it's going to sign an executive order to encourage people to come out with funds. So all these things will take time. Even private sector are not at the moment even increasing their workforce. And I'm sorry to say, it hurts me when I see people that migrate out of the country to what you call jackpot to other countries. I pity them because I know most of them are regretting going to this other country, because in those countries you hardly have a room for one kobo saving, because in all these so-called countries, tax rate, value-added tax on every product, everything is taxed. And in America, they allow you to spend all your money in advance, credit card. By the end of the month, you spend all your salary to clear the backlog, and then you start all over again. Okay. It's when they get there, they realize that they've gone into an impossible situation and they can't come back. So I will appeal to the young ones, at least our system in Africa helps. There is local insurance of a kind. I know how many of my old age people I take care of. So, as I said, it will also take time before we can engineer increase in employment.
Okay, Aramosa. So, let me just quickly say this. You said that President Tinubu was a hero for removing subsidy. He took the bold decision. Would you also call Goodluck Jonathan a hero for removing subsidy many years ago, but your party kicked against him and all of you had a protest against him? And also, the second question will be about Nnamdi Kanu. What should be done as regards this Nnamdi Kanu situation and the Igbo question? And probably someday, the conversation about Igbo presidency. Don't the Igbos too have a right at presidency since they return to democracy?
Well, I'll start with your last question. Of course, the Igbos have a right, like any Nigerian, and I support their right to or to the presidency. There should not be a situation where we are treating any part of the country as a secondary citizen. But you see, some of my brother Igbos think that it's a right, entitlement. Our brothers, the Igbos, must talk to ourselves. Only Ngige talk to me that he would like to be president, that came to me to talk to me that he will be president. When Abiola and I wanted to, we went around the whole of the East. We saw Nnamdi Azikiwe, we saw Onu, we saw Mbakwe. We went around to each of their homes in their villages. Most of the Igbos didn't think that they should talk to us in Southwest. I feel sorry about that. I mean, look, the handshake across the South, led by people like Ndibusi, Commodore Ebitukiwe and Co. With us, Yoruba, that built up to June 12, was forgotten. Two, you see, the tribalistic politics cannot help. Anybody who wants to be president of this country must recognize the other tribes. The kind of entitlement cannot give the Igbos the presidency. As for Nnamdi Kanu, I have not discussed it with the president, but I know that from what I have from other sources, he's asking the Attorney General, can he, as a president, interfere with court processes? Can he order the court to stop the processes? These are issues. If we are negotiating something for Kanu, we have to look at the implication in terms of the legal processes and what are the power of the president to either interfere with the court or not.
All right, going back to the first question, very quickly, sir, because of our time.
Yeah.
The first question I asked you, you called President Tinubu a hero for removing subsidy. Would you call Goodluck Jonathan a hero for removing subsidy? And why is it that when President Jonathan removed subsidy, your party then kicked against him? So he too is a hero, isn't it? Or is not a hero for removing subsidy then?
At that time, the subsidy was minimal, and what we are saying then was that they should have tackled the corruption. Now, the corruption now continued and became bigger and bigger, and round tripping. People bringing, I mean, after Jonathan, a lot of events happened. Round tripping, bringing in vessels, and round tripping the vessels 4 or 5 times. So the corruption in the subsidy became higher. Before that was the situation between. I mean, of course, I respect Jonathan. He's a gentleman president. I respect him.
All right, sir. Thank you very much for expressing your thoughts towards former President Goodluck Jonathan and, of course, your take on other issues in the economy under this administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We had the Aremo SEGUN OSOBA, elder statesman and former governor of Ogun State.
Wow. I purposely played that interview because I watched some clips of it, okay? And it was funny. I wish I did post my this thing on different pages on my platforms, okay? Well, guys, I'm Mustafa here. Thank you for watching. Please kindly like, share, and subscribe. This is the Diaspora Network. God bless you. We'll talk today about many things. I hope everything will be okay. The security situation in Platreau State. And I just saw a video just now of that one that was in Platreau State. The video I just saw now, but I won't play that right now. Okay, I won't play that right now. I will play that. Let me see if I can just play that to say as good night. Let me see if I can play that as good night. Okay. But anyway, let me see. Just a moment, guys. Just a moment. Let me see if I can just do that. Well, if I cannot play that, I will call it a day. The same, we really need to make Nigeria work again. Who will do it is you and I. There's another person that will do it. Don't wait for that person to do it. And maybe I'll put it here. If I see it, I play. If I don't see it, I'll let it be. Okay. All the same, all the same, all the same, all the same. Just one moment, guys. Just one minute. Um, just now. Uh. Let's do this video. Let's listen to him. What they found out in Jos, okay? Let's listen to him.
Because of their greed. It's crazy, to be very honest. Now, that raw material I picked on the ground is called tin, right? What is tin used for? Tin is used to package all this tin tomato. They put it in toothpaste. All these canned drinks that you take, you know, those canned drinks, they use tin to make them, yeah? Now, how much is it worth? Do you understand? Now, let's read how much it's worth, so that'll be actually correct. Tin is expected to trade, for now, it is being traded at, let's see, for now it's being traded at 2023 forecast of tin is $25,700 per ton. $25,000, 700 per ton. For people that don't know the equivalence, let's just do it at 25 million per ton. Now, I went further to ask, what is the expected amount for later? Tin is expected to trade at 26. It has gone up now, 26,000. Then by the end of the quarter, now, according to the Trading Economy Global Micro Model Analysis expectation, looking forward, we estimate it to trade at 28,000 in 12 months' time. $28,000, which is like the equivalent of over 30 million per ton. Do you understand? Now, what is a ton? A ton is actually a unit of weight in the metric system equivalent to 1,000 kilogram. Do you understand? 1,000 kg. That's pretty heavy. Now, how many ton can a tipper carry? How many ton can a tipper carry? A lightweight tipper, those are the normal tipper. A lightweight tipper truck, body truck, can carry up to 16 tons. Do you understand? 2,000 kg to 15,000 kg. Now, let's multiply the initial amount, 25,000. Let's not even use $25,000 per 15,000 that a truck can carry. If we are doing it, let's do it by 20,000. 20,000 times 15 will give you $300,000 for one truck alone. $300,000 based on my discovery now on Google. To give you $300,000 per movement. Imagine if they carry 10 of those trucks out of Jos in a day. Do you understand? That means they'll be making approximately 300. That means they'll be making approximately how much? They'll be making approximately they'll be making more than $2 million in a day. Do you understand? More than $2 million in a day. That's how much? That is like 2.4 billion in a day. 2.4 billion naira in a day. Do you understand? Now, which I believe that if the right authorities, if the authorities have sense, This is what they would have used to build the whole Jos. Minus that, other minerals are still there. Now, let me tell you what's funny. When they attacked those people, they burnt their houses, right? If it was a normal fight, therefore no burn their house. Do you know what burning of houses mean? It means we don't want to see you people here again. You people have to leave this environment, run for your lives. Do you understand? That's why they were burning houses. Why were they burning houses? Obviously, they discovered something there. Do you understand? Number two, this part, I didn't want to talk about it, yeah? When we were leaving the site, a place where they don't buy people, there were people rearing cows, over 200 cows in a yard. Do you understand? Over 200 cows in a yard. Went to the next location, we're literally seeing like different cattle headers up and down, plenty cows everywhere. Do you understand? Which is funny. They just buy people and when I see the rare a cow around, which was crazy. But I didn't want to talk about this part. But then again, I'm just saying what I saw. Do you understand? Now, if I remind you what Abacha said said any insurgency that lasts more than 24 hours, the government has a hand in it. Now, this attack was 24th, 25th, and 26th. 3 days. When the thing happened the first day, I'm pretty sure those people, the people that survived, they went to go and tell the right authorities. The second day, they would have mounted guard. Nobody. The third day, they would have mounted guard. Nobody. Now, this thing happened in 28 communities. But the one I went, 2 communities. Do you understand? Barikin Ladi and Bokos. Now, that Barikin Ladi is a drive. It's like 35 minutes drive from Bokos. But guess what? If you are climbing the mountain down, it's less than 10 minutes if you are using your leg. So basically, these people were about 500 people, estimatedly, because the pastor that survived said he saw about 150 people, if not more, that came to attack Bokos. Do you understand? So, Barikin Ladi own, which is a bigger community than Bokos. Abi, the village is way bigger than the initial one we went to. Do you understand? That means if 150 are going here, they need about 500 or 300 to go here. And these people are staying in a plain land. Where did all these people come from that they could not see? Do you understand? So if you ask me what happened, do you understand? If you ask me what happened, I will just tell you for free that, man, I don't go talk. You know how Nigeria be. You know how Nigeria be. I don't really just start to see some funny DM when I don't really understand. Do you understand? But yes, this is what is happening. We too for take get money for Nigeria. Some people go just cool down. So at the end of the day, it has to do with illegal mining. It has to do with illegal mining. Now let me now give you a shocking revelation. The road that takes you from Abuja to Benue State is well done. There are some bushes in Nigeria that their roads are okay. Do you understand? Now, when I mean bushes, I'm not saying those people don't deserve those roads. But Lagos, Abuja to Lagos raises more revenue for Nigeria. Do you understand? Because that's a commercial city. Abuja to Port Harcourt and every other place. But there are some places in Nigeria that people don't use those roads. But those roads are well done. Do you understand? Why are you doing the roads in a place where people don't use, but you are neglecting the roads that people use? It is because those other places you will cast, and these other places in the northern parts, nobody goes there. You will not cast. You people know what you people are doing in all those places, and you made the road very good so that you people can carry whatever thing you are carrying and go to wherever place you are carrying it. I'm not calling name just in case they come for me, so that my lawyer will feedback me. I know they call names, so that they come for my lawyer. If it does, he no talk. It was just an analysis I they give. No, I'm not telling you beforehand. Anyone not near me. They'll say you're gonna learn, and you all will learn for real. But I'll tell you for free that this country, greed of some top peoples are putting us in problems. Because how do you wipe an entire civilization? Because of greed. God speaking hand. By people family. buy small children because of what? Greed. Nigeria.
Wow. Well, guys, I'm gonna stop for there. Pray for Nigeria, man. That's what I will say. Nigeria is a blessed country, guys. Keep